that feeling when something goes really wrong in your life and someone looks at you and says, "Everything happens for a reason"?
Oh, yes. I know that feeling very well.
And in that moment, part of you wants to say, "What reason? What possible reason could there be for this?"
Exactly. Because you're hurting. And that sentence feels so empty when you're in pain.
But then, quietly, somewhere in the back of your mind, a small voice says, "Maybe. Maybe there really is a reason. Maybe this is leading somewhere I can't see yet."
And you don't know which feeling to trust. The anger or the hope.
Today, we're going to talk about both, honestly. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak Unstoppable, the podcast where we help you speak English naturally and confidently through real, honest conversations.
I'm John.
And I'm Maria. So happy you're here with us today.
This episode is for B1 to B2 learners, intermediate to upper intermediate level English.
How are you feeling today, John?
Honestly, thoughtful. This topic made me think about some difficult moments in my life and what came after them.
Me too. I feel a little emotional, actually, in a good way.
Before we start, thank you. Really, thank you for being here today, for choosing to learn English with us, for showing up, even on the hard days.
Especially on the hard days.
Let's go.
Okay, let me ask you something. Has something ever gone wrong in your life? Completely wrong. And then later, you were grateful it happened?
Yes, absolutely yes.
Tell us.
Okay, when I was 26, I lost my job. My company closed. No warning. One day I had a job, the next day, nothing.
That must have been terrifying.
It was. I had rent to pay. I had no savings. I had no plan. I was completely lost.
And what happened?
I spent 3 months just surviving. And then, out of desperation, I tried something new. Something I had always been curious about, but never had time for.
What was it?
Writing. I started writing, just for myself at first, and it led to a completely different career, a better one I actually loved.
And if you hadn't lost that job?
I would still be there, doing work I didn't care about, comfortable but unhappy.
So the worst thing that happened to you led to the best thing.
Yes, but here's the honest part. I couldn't see that at the time. At the time, it just hurt.
And that's the real question, isn't it? Does everything happen for a reason, or do we just find reasons after the fact?
After the fact means after something has already happened.
Today, we're going to explore this question honestly. We're not going to give you an easy answer, because it's not an easy question.
But we will give you the English to talk about it. And maybe some peace with the hard moments in your own life.
Maybe this is you right now. Maybe you're in the middle of something difficult, and you're looking for a reason.
This episode is for you. Okay, let's start at the beginning. What does this phrase actually mean?
Everything happens for a reason. It's a belief, a way of seeing the world.
And what kind of belief is it?
It's the belief that nothing in life is random, that every event, good or bad, is part of a larger plan, a larger story.
And random means happening by chance, with no pattern, no plan, no purpose.
So the opposite of random is meaningful. Meaningful means having a purpose, a reason, a point.
And people who believe everything happens for a reason, they believe life is meaningful, not random.
Yes, and this belief, it gives people comfort, especially in hard times.
Comfort. That's a key word. Comfort means a feeling of peace and relief. When something eases your pain,
Because when something painful happens, the hardest part is sometimes not the pain itself. It's the feeling that it's pointless.
pointless means without purpose, without meaning.
And that feeling that this painful thing has no point, that can be unbearable.
Unbearable means too difficult to handle, too heavy to carry.
So people say everything happens for a reason, to make the pain bearable, to give it a point,
Even when they don't know what the reason is yet.
especially when they don't know.
Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you miss your flight. You're at the airport. You're stressed. You're angry.
And your friend says, everything happens for a reason.
And you think, what reason? What reason could there possibly be for missing this flight?
But then, 3 hours later, you're on the next flight. And you're sitting next to someone. And you start talking.
And that person offers you a job, or becomes your closest friend, or says something that changes how you think.
And suddenly, the missed flight was the best thing that could have happened.
Did it happen for a reason? Or did you just find a reason after?
That is the question.
Maybe you know this feeling too. Something went wrong, and later, much later, you were glad it did.
Think about that moment. Hold it. We'll come back to it.
Okay, honest time. Because this phrase, it doesn't always help.
No. Sometimes it makes things worse.
When?
When someone is in the middle of pain, real deep pain, and someone says this, it can feel dismissive.
Dismissive means you are not taking someone's feelings seriously. You're brushing them away.
Like, your pain doesn't matter. Just wait. There's a reason.
And sometimes people need to feel the pain first, before they can look for the reason.
Yes, there's a time for comfort. And there's a time for just sitting with someone in their pain.
Sitting with someone in their pain, what does that mean?
It means you don't try to fix it. You don't offer reasons. You just stay. You're present. You say, this is hard. And I'm here.
That is sometimes the most powerful thing you can do.
And the phrase, everything happens for a reason, said too early, can feel like the opposite.
It can feel like, okay, stop crying. There's a reason. Move on.
And that's not fair. Some things take time to make sense. Some things take years.
And some things, Maria, I have to be honest, some things never make sense.
Yes, some losses, some tragedies, some moments of deep unfairness.
And to tell someone everything happens for a reason in those moments, it can feel cruel, even if it's said with love.
So, what do you say instead?
You can say, I don't know why this happened, and I'm so sorry.
Simple, honest, humble. Humble means you don't pretend to have answers you don't have.
Or, this is really hard, and your feelings make complete sense.
You're not offering a reason. You're offering presence.
And presence, being truly there for someone, that is worth more than any explanation.
Maybe you know this feeling too. Someone said this to you at the wrong time. And it didn't help.
Your feelings were valid. They still are.
Okay, here's something important. There is a difference between finding meaning and forcing meaning.
Explain.
Finding meaning means, after time passes, you look back at something painful, and you genuinely discover something it taught you, something it gave you, something it led you to.
Like my job loss leading to writing.
Yes, you didn't force that meaning. It emerged, naturally, over time.
Emerged means it came out slowly. It appeared, like a plant growing from the ground.
Forcing meaning is different. Forcing meaning is immediately after something painful. You say, okay, what's the lesson? What am I supposed to learn?
And sometimes that helps. But sometimes,
Sometimes it stops you from actually feeling what you need to feel.
right. Because you're so busy looking for the lesson, you skip the grieving.
Grieving means feeling deep sadness about a loss, allowing yourself to be sad.
And grieving is necessary. It's not weak. It's not dramatic. It is necessary.
When you lose something, a job, a relationship, a dream, a person, you need to grieve it before you can find the meaning.
So the order matters.
Simple, honest, humble. Humble means you don't pretend to have answers you don't have.
Or, this is really hard. And your feelings make complete sense.
You're not offering a reason. You're offering presence.
And presence, being truly there for someone, that is worth more than any explanation.
Maybe you know this feeling too. Someone said this to you at the wrong time. And it didn't help.
Your feelings were valid. They still are.
Okay, here's something important. There is a difference between finding meaning and forcing meaning.
Explain.
Finding meaning means, after time passes, you look back at something painful and you genuinely discover something it taught you, something it gave you, something it led you to.
Like my job loss leading to writing.
Yes, you didn't force that meaning. It emerged, naturally, over time.
Emerged means it came out slowly. It appeared, like a plant growing from the ground.
Forcing meaning is different. Forcing meaning is immediately after something painful. You say, okay, what's the lesson? What am I supposed to learn?
And sometimes that helps. But sometimes,
Sometimes it stops you from actually feeling what you need to feel.
right. Because you're so busy looking for the lesson, you skip the grieving.
Grieving means feeling deep sadness about a loss, allowing yourself to be sad.
And grieving is necessary. It's not weak. It's not dramatic. It is necessary.
When you lose something, a job, a relationship, a dream, a person, you need to grieve it before you can find the meaning.
So the order matters.
The order matters so much. Feel first. Find meaning later.
And sometimes, the meaning doesn't come quickly. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes, years.
And that's completely okay.
Here is a simple example. Imagine a relationship ends. Someone you loved deeply, and people around you immediately say, everything happens for a reason. You'll find someone better.
And you're not ready to hear that yet. You just want to feel sad for a while.
That is allowed. Sadness is not a problem to be solved. It is a feeling to be felt.
And when the sadness passes, naturally, in its own time, then you can start to look for meaning.
Not because someone told you to, but because you're ready.
Maybe you know this feeling too. You were grieving something, and people rushed you, told you to find the lesson. Move on.
You didn't have to move on before you were ready. And you still don't.
Okay, practical time. Because today's topic, it comes up in real conversations.
Yes, in English, people talk about hard times, setbacks, difficult moments, and knowing the right words, it helps you connect deeply.
So let's give you the phrases. First, how to describe a difficult situation.
You can say, I went through a really tough time.
Tough means difficult and hard. Went through means you experienced it. You lived through it.
So, I went through a really tough time last year. Simple. Natural.
Or, it was a really challenging period for me. Challenging means difficult, but in a way that tests you.
And period means a length of time. A chapter of your life.
Next, how to talk about finding meaning after difficulty.
You can say, looking back, I can see what that experience taught me.
Looking back means thinking about the past. Reflecting.
Or, in hindsight, I understand why it happened.
Hindsight means understanding something after it has already happened. Like, in hindsight, losing that job was the best thing for me.
And how to comfort someone going through something hard.
You can say, I can only imagine how difficult this must be for you.
This phrase shows empathy. Empathy means understanding and sharing someone's feelings.
Or, there are no words. But I'm here.
Simple, powerful, true. And sometimes that's all you need to say.
And one more. If you want to gently offer hope without forcing it.
You can say, I don't know when, but I believe things will make sense eventually.
Eventually means at some point in the future. Not now, but someday. It's hopeful, but it doesn't rush the person.
Maybe you know this feeling too. Someone you love is going through something hard, and you don't know what to say.
Now you have the words.
Can I share something personal?
Please.
3 years ago, my father got very sick. It was a frightening time. Long hospital visits. Uncertainty. Fear.
I'm sorry, John.
Thank you. He recovered. But during those months, I remember someone saying to me, everything happens for a reason.
And how did that feel?
Honestly, it made me angry. Because I couldn't see any reason. I just wanted my father to be okay.
Of course.
But later, much later, I understood something. That period brought my family closer than we had been in years. We talked more. We appreciated each other more. We stopped taking things for granted.
Taking for granted means not appreciating something because you assume it will always be there.
Was there a reason? I don't know. I still don't know.
But there was meaning. You found it. Over time,
And I think that's the most honest answer to today's question. Maybe not everything happens for a reason. But meaning can be found in almost everything.
even the hardest things. Even the things that don't make sense.
You look. You wait. You feel. And slowly, meaning emerges.
Remember this sentence. You may not find the reason, but you can always find the lesson.
Say it again.
You may not find the reason, but you can always find the lesson. Always. Okay, everyone, let's slow down now. Word tour time.
Key words from today. Say them with us.
Word 1. Meaningful. This means having a purpose, a reason, something that matters. Example 1. She wanted her work to be meaningful, not just a way to earn money. Example 2. That conversation was so meaningful. I'll remember it for years.
We all want a meaningful life. And meaning usually comes from the hard parts, not the easy ones.
Word 2. Comfort. This means a feeling of peace and relief, something that eases pain. Example 1. Her words brought him so much comfort. Example 2. He found comfort in music during difficult times.
Comfort is not the same as fixing. Sometimes comfort is just being there.
Word 3. Dismissive. This means not taking someone's feelings seriously, brushing them away. Example 1. He was dismissive of her concerns, and that hurt her. Example 2. Don't be dismissive when someone shares something painful.
Said at the wrong time. Even kind words can feel dismissive. Remember that.
Word 4. Emerged. This means something came out slowly and naturally over time. Example 1. A new understanding emerged after months of reflection. Example 2. Her confidence emerged gradually as she practiced more.
Meaning doesn't always arrive quickly. Sometimes it emerges. Slowly. Quietly.
Word 5. Grieving. This means feeling deep sadness about a loss. Allowing yourself to be sad. Example 1. She was still grieving the end of her relationship. Example 2. Grieving takes time. There is no shortcut.
Grieving is not weakness. It is necessary. Please, let yourself grieve.
Word 6. Hindsight. This means understanding something after it has already happened. Example 1. In hindsight, that was the right decision. Example 2. Hindsight is easy. Making decisions in the moment is hard.
When you look back, you can usually see the path more clearly than when you were walking it.
Word 7. Empathy. This means understanding and sharing someone else's feelings. Example 1. She showed great empathy. She really understood how he felt. Example 2. Empathy is not saying I know how you feel. It's saying I'm trying to understand.
Empathy is one of the most valuable things one human can offer another.
Word 8. Eventually. This means at some point in the future. Not now, but someday. Example 1. Things will get better eventually. Example 2. Eventually, she understood why it had to happen that way.
Hold on to that word on hard days. Not now, but eventually. Okay. One thing to do today. Just one.
Think of one difficult thing that happened in your life. Something that hurt at the time.
It doesn't have to be the hardest thing. Just one difficult moment.
And ask yourself, looking back now, did anything good come from it? Did you learn something? Did it lead you somewhere unexpected?
Maybe the answer is yes, and you'd forgotten.
Or maybe the answer is not yet. And that's okay too.
Here is your sentence template. Practice saying this.
I went through a really tough time when under. But looking back, I can see that it taught me underscore.
For example, I went through a really tough time when I failed my exam, but looking back, I can see that it taught me how to study better and not give up.
Say it. In English. Out loud.
Because putting your story into words, in any language, gives you power over it.
It becomes something that happened to you, not something that defines you.
There is a difference. Okay. Comment challenge time.
This week's question, and this one takes courage to answer.
Tell us about one difficult thing that happened and what it taught you. Use this sentence, I went through and it taught me
Write it below. In English. Even just one sentence.
Because your story might be exactly what someone else needs to read today.
We read every single comment. Every one.
If this episode stayed with you, please give it a like. It helps so many more people find us.
And subscribe to Speak Unstoppable if you haven't yet. New episodes every day, real conversations, real English, real life.
Thank you for being here today.
You showed up on what might have been a hard day, and you listened, and you grew.
That is not nothing. That is everything.
Until next time, keep going.
Even when it's hard.
Especially when it's hard.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.